Subscribe to the Monaris Club.
All right, I'm sitting here with the boy Jeff. He won our store champs here in Seattle on Wednesday. What'd you play, Jeff?
OG Soul Striker from set 1.
Spicy.
Felt really nice, untapping 2 and getting the 5k when you have 5 or more energy especially felt nice.
Why'd you decide to play this instead of the other one?
Because I get an untapped multicolor.
That's pretty good.
And there wasn't much difference between this one and the other one other than I get to draw 1 on this side, but that was very negligible. Usually by turn 3 I was awakened, so drawing didn't really matter much. Maybe you missed 2 turns to draw, but trust me, you'll make it up in the rest of the deck.
Sure. All right, let's see what you got.
So we got 1 Goku. I didn't know really what else to put. This was a little bit of my flex slot, but it felt nice. It came up once or twice, but really strong card. Otherwise, you can just charge it. I played 3 of the Boo Unison, because the Boo Unison is so good. Against most decks these days, it just hits everything. It hits their boss monster. You don't really have to do anything. You play this out, and then you swing with the Leader, you plus 0. And now you have 3 energy up next turn, and you don't have to do anything. And then next I played the 3 of the Gogeta Unison.
The one no one knows how to read.
The one that no one knows how to read. Almost every game someone forgot about the permanent, and it just felt so nice. They would go in, they would swing, they would combo a little bit, and then you'd be like, alright, that's fine. So I have a rest mode, a blue Saiyan card,
yep.
And that would be the end of that.
And it's also 20k duels, pretty good.
Yeah, and then against aggro, usually they try to rush you down real quick. You can always -1 to bounce those cards back, and so it's a little bit of a tempo swing too, which is really nice.
Sure.
And then since we're playing unisons, we're playing 2 God Sealing. You'll see the other ones later, but only 2. It came up every now and then. Usually, this is mainly for the Cell matchup, but I didn't play against Cell, so that was fine. For Vegeta Super Combo, because we want to draw, and our leader doesn't draw on the front side, so. 3 Vegeta. This card is so good in the right matchup.
Yeah, the card's crazy good.
Bottom decking 2 is so strong. Getting a 20k dual attacker is so nice. Plus you can beat it up and have a 25k dual attacker. Mm-hmm. Really good. I usually ended up siding this card out because it wasn't needed. Most of the time they either had barrier or they weren't playing that many battle cards or that many threatening battle cards that I cared about. So.
Sure.
And then we got the standard 4 beam.
Of course, that's how you do it.
And 4D magic.
Mm-hmm. The blue classic.
The blue classic. And our secret rare, of course, Baby Ash.
Of course. No other way to do it.
No. And then I'm running 3 Bardock Awaken. I like this card more than the Trunks because this one draws 2, discards 1, and then you'll see why that's important later. It felt really nice, overround 4, really easy to do, and it's one of the main key parts of the engine.
Didn't feel too clunky with 3 of them?
No, not whatsoever. Sometimes you had 2 in hand, and if that was the case, you either just pitch it for something,
mm-hmm.
maybe get out of attack, but...
You can pitch it to itself, too, if you really need to.
Yep. And now we're getting into the blue-red part. This card was so good. Oh my goodness. I wish I could play more, but god damn. This card, it hits almost everything nowadays. It hits counter, it hits all the floodgates, it hits the counter plays, it hits almost everything, and they go to the bottom of the deck instead of being returned to hand or anything, which is really nice. And then the permanent gives it 3k power for every card in your energy.
It's really broken.
So just on turn 2 it's a 16, so no Piccolo Jr. Unison can't hit it unless they neg it, so they're spending more resources just to kill 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in the game you play this and you're swinging with 25, 28, 31 Ks just by itself, and it's super nice.
For 2 mana, it's so good. And it's a check land, too.
It is indeed a check land. And then Rival Seeker, because we are playing the Invoker package.
This is the spicy part of the deck.
Yeah, it felt nice. Usually if you saw it real early, this is the card you charged, because turn 1 and turn 2 you want to get those multicolors active, because we're really leaning into the Invoker part. But it felt nice. Always 10k free combo power is really nice.
You just got 8 super combos.
Basically. 3 Tyranny's cost. I had this at 4 originally, but I would rather have the energy up to play the Vegeta counterplay, or just have it defensively, then draw 2 that turn.
Sure.
Generally, everyone asks, like, well, how do you awaken normally if they don't hit you? And it's like, well, you just don't keep playing things that will hit you. You just slowly place stuff on the board and then let them hit you until they finally awaken you. Against a baby matchup I played something turn 3 and then passed. Turn 4 I just passed because I didn't want him to hit my unisons. So then he kept hitting me, and then I was able to awaken.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the little burn. 2 catastrophic throws and 2 energy explosion Gokus.
This is like the win con of the deck, right?
Yeah. Usually they'll put in so much, either floodgate you, or they'll put in so many resources that stop the final 2 attacks, and then you can just be like, oh, okay, well, let me just summon this, and then burn you for 2.
Mm-hmm. It's very cheap.
Very cheap.
And you can keep using those over and over again, too.
Yes, and then the 3-drop Rival Seeker, adding 2 from Warp, was huge, and you don't have to play the 6-drop on top of that.
Yep, you can just keep getting your guys back. It's really good.
And now for the real spicy part. I'm playing 3 Vegetas. Now, this is what you do. Turn 3, you slap this down.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, they'll waken you up by turn 3, turn 4. And then so, therefore, you're advancing your board state by getting a very strong card out, because Invoker skill is just crap.
It's just broken, yeah.
And then you just move on with your life, get so much advantage from this. You don't have to swing with it. You can just sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start swinging with it when you feel safe that it's not going to die.
And he's got barrier, too, so he's just a real asshole to deal with.
Deflect, barrier, Invoker,
Yep.
all the good keywords.
Yep.
And they're playing for Sleepy Boy. Sleepy Boy is so good. This leader lacks draw, therefore we're playing everything with draw. With 1 energy up, you can just either Senzu being your leader or D-Magic for 1 attack, and then you can do this twice. And drawing 4 cards and then bouncing 2 battle cards back to your opponent's hand is so much tempo swing.
Yeah, that card's crazy.
It felt so nice. Against blue decks and against yellow decks, they would generally counter this. So if you ate 1 or 2 of those, you knew your hatch was free to go in and stop everything.
Yeah, it's just too much advantage to let it go. Feels too bad to let it go, and then you can just hatch them.
That's right. And then the final card, the card that really just put it over the top, was Final Heat Phalanx.
So what's this card do? I think a lot of people haven't seen this card before.
It's first of all, red-blue, so therefore Invoker makes it cost 1.
Yeah.
It's a counterplay if you choose a blue leader card or a blue battle card, and then it gets 5k power for the turn, so it beans it, which is really nice. And then on top of that, if the battle card has an energy cost 6 or less, it puts it at the bottom of the deck instead of being played.
Crazy.
So
it's a crazy good card.
It came up so much. I would have 1 energy, and then your opponent would just swing at your unison a whole bunch, thinking that you're going to God Sealing them. And then you just hit them with this, and it's like, alright, that's cool. Your SS4 Vegeta that you wanted to draw 4 ramp with, let's put that at the bottom of the deck. Perfect.
Yeah, card's insane. Alright, what about your side deck?
For the side deck, I have 3 Apes against hand control. Those came up quite a bit. It was pretty nice to get the draw. And then 2 Hunt of the Demon God for green for Dormant. And then for yellow, we had Kami. Now, Kami came up so much, and it was so nice every time I got off. Even if you kill your own dude, you can just swing in beforehand, get that free attack in. Because the Vegeta is a 19, so they're not going to want to block it, because then they're going to have to put resources in protecting it. So, this card felt really nice.
Just answers Trunks Cheetah's board so well.
But it does. 2 topo for aggro, so if they're just going to go balls to the wall, just trying to rush you down, then of course just topo them.
It feels like people won't put hidden counter plays in against you anyway to stop topo.
1 Emperor's Death Beam just gets rid of something with barrier. It's invoker target still. It's really nice.
It's activate battle too.
Yeah, that it is.
That's crazy.
So, one game I won, my opponent shotgunned his whole hand to kill me with the 9-drop cell, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Well, tap 1, just kill it real quick.
And it's gone. Yep.
2 Dirty Burst. I was having this at 3, but with the Boo Unison and with Sleepy Boy Technique, the Goku and the Cell aren't really a problem. Sure, they rip a card out of your hand or bottom deck a card, but with Sleepy Boy you draw 2 anyway, so you basically went even, and they tap 4 for nothing.
That makes sense.
Another one of this against the slow matchups. Nothing else to say there. A third one of this. You really want to see this against the Cell, because you don't want usually have a really big hand over the weekend. I think the least amount of cards I had to handle unless I was going for a kill was probably 10. So
Sure.
and then the 1 counter because we want stuff to go through and we want to win the game eventually.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So what did you play against? You went 3-1 on Sunday with this deck.
Yes, I did.
And then you also went 4-0 on Wednesday, and you got your invite there.
Yes. So I played against. I had Trunks Vegeta. I 2-1'd him. He won the first game because he dropped the 3-drop Goku that makes me pay an extra mana for extra card, which sucked. And then I had no way to get rid of it. And then game 2 and 3, once I resolved Kami, the game was in my favor so much. I played against U7, 2-0'd him because he didn't read my cards, and because every time he summoned the 8-drop, I just bounced 4 back. Bouncing 4 back for a deck that can't really manipulate their mana so much is such a big tempo swing, even if they rip something out that they want.
Definitely.
I played against GT. I lost the GT because of time. My opponent was a little slow, and
Yeah, you went into game 3 on time. Yeah, and this deck can't really do anything about that in an aggro matchup.
no, it can't. And then I played Baby, and I won 1 game because my opponent didn't raid my SS3 Gogeta. And then game 2, I just played it a little bit slower, just kept adding a little bit more pressure on my board every turn and just passing and then countering every counterattack he had, and 2-0'd him. And then on Wednesday, I played that Baby player again. Did the same thing to him, just stopped him, and then slowly killed them. I played against Gamma 1 and 2 in the final round. 2-0'd him. You just keep letting them hit you until you're awakened, and then you just slowly just keep off the pressure, and running 6 Sensu beans, it stops all the small dudes.
Sure.
And then running 4 Sleepy Boys, it stops the big dude, and you can also put in the counter play, Dirty Burst, and then the Boo Unison also just really stopped it too.
Yeah, that's tough for Gamma to deal with.
And then, what were the other 2? Cooler, Green Cooler, I played against that, and I won that because of the Hunt of the Demon God. They pushed for game, and I was able just to get by, and then they went to dormant me next turn, and I was like, no, we don't do that here.
And now the game's over.
And then I kept pushing through, and then I burned them for 2 for the last bit. And then my last matchup was Cougar Mill, which is normally really hard, but the only mill card that they can have that hits the Vegeta is the 5-drop that comes out for 1. And it's 20k, therefore your counterplay Vegeta can hit that, and since it's a 5-drop, your Phalanx can hit that. So if they just try to do that to kill your Vegeta or anything, you just counterplay that and put it at the bottom of the deck. And one turn, he tried doing that 3 times, and I played 2 Vegetas and a Heat Phalanx against him, and then after that, it was slowly my game.
Yep.
Afterwards.
Awesome. Well, 7-1 over 2 events, and you got your invite at one of them. It's pretty darn good, especially for a rogue deck like this. You know, homebrew. I know you've been working on this one a long time. Been kind of tweaking the knobs on it, and it looks like it worked out for you. So, yeah, thanks for letting me interview you, get your deck profile for the channel. Any shout-outs you want to do before we end this thing?
Yeah. Shout-outs to James for letting me tech test this so much and giving me good input. And then shout out to our locals and Chris, Raymond, and Locke, my friends that always let me deck test with them. And, you know, telling me that I should give up on this deck, therefore I should not give up on this deck and keep playing it until something works. All right.
Awesome. Thanks for the interview, Jeff. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Until next time on the Monares Club.